Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a f***ing ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Beck.
Today is November 29th, 2021, or as we like to refer to it, Victory Monday.
Yeah.
Yes. Oof, man, that was a tough one.
I loved it.
You did. I did not.
Ralph did not. Ralph was upset the whole game.
Yes.
And I think it's because he didn't want to be wrong on his score prediction.
I don't ever like being wrong. Who does? Are there people out there that like being wrong? I'm sure there are.
Probably.
Masochists.
Like the masochists, yeah.
Yes, you were definitely right. You said it was going to be a closer game than I did. I predicted 41-17. They hit 17 in like the middle of the second quarter. I was like, okay.
It didn't take long.
They can't score anymore from here on out. And, we almost hit 41 points.
Yeah.
So there's that. But you were definitely closer.
What was my prediction?
You said
I just want to hear you say it.
You said 35-29.
Okay.
So, yeah, pretty close. Yeah, if we played in the second half or if we played in the first half like we did in the second half, it would have been the way I wanted it.
Yeah.
Because I really did. And Molly jumped on me afterwards. She was like, you always talk about you like entertaining games. That was an entertaining game. I was like, yeah, this is the one time I really wanted us to whoop up on somebody.
I know. You wanted whatever happened in Washington, you wanted it to play out in Indianapolis. You wanted us to take it out on Indianapolis.
Yeah, well, we played well against the Giants, beat them up. But, the Colts were...
Like we should have, yeah.
Yeah, exactly like we should have. The Colts were, an up-and-coming team and all that good stuff. And I just wanted to make a statement.
Mm-hmm. We did. Well, you got to remember, we kind of look back on last year very fondly in Super Bowl colored glasses, but it was a long time before we played like we played in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl. It was a long, painful at times road to get there. And so I think that we've kind of taken last season for granted. All we remember is the happy, awesome stuff and not all the other stuff. And so to me, I feel like we're watching that same kind of development this year. And you just got to be patient. It's a long road. There's a lot of football. There's good teams that beat bad teams. There's good teams that lose to bad teams. It just happens.
Yeah, well, last year, let me see, we stumbled into the bye week. What did we lose? We lost 2 games before the bye. We were 7-5 going into the bye. We're much better off now at this point of the year. We're 8-3.
Yeah.
Or 8-4.
8-3.
8-3. Mm-hmm. That's right, because we've already had our bye. Mm-hmm. And then coming out of the bye week, we played Minnesota, and we beat them pretty good. But then we played the Falcons, and that was a close game. Remember, it was 27-31, I think.
I don't remember it. Don't remember it.
Yeah.
See, even that late in the season, we had some ugly games that were a lot closer than they should have been.
Yeah. And I don't know. You're right. I see this team as a bunch of juggernauts. When we come out there and just keep doing this 3 and out in our first drive. It's like, what is going on? It's driving me crazy.
Oh my gosh, that was so awful. Let me see. Our first drive, I actually took notes this time because
yes, she did.
We were not drinking during this game because we had gone out the night before.
We're very hungover.
And Molly was not feeling it. So let me see. I do have notes from this game. So we had a 3 and out. That short punt and the penalty. So they start on our 30. Yeah, it was awful. I have so many notes. We go 3 and out again. We go 3 and out. We're going 3 and out. We score finally.
Yeah.
All my notes are like that.
It was not a very good showing in that first half.
Initially, yeah. But that was our season last year. We did not always play complete games. Like, there were some games the defense just got torched, but the offense played well. And then there were other games where the offense did not play well, but the defense kept us in there. So it's kind of the same thing, I think, particularly this game was kind of like that.
And, our defense didn't really step it up until right before the playoffs. It was, and throughout the playoffs, they just dominated. But, a 5-turnover game against the Colts, you can't complain too much, No,
well,
I think the defense did their job.
Yeah, they had some ridiculous stat where Carson Wentz had 18 touchdowns to 3 interceptions
coming into the game. Yeah.
And he got 2 more on that, and then they had how many fumbles? 3 fumble, 1 fumble?
Yeah.
What were the other turnovers?
Interceptions.
2 I know, but they have 5 turnovers, right?
Right.
So, okay, 3 fumbles and 2 interceptions. Okay, yes.
They had 3 fumbles?
They had 3 fumbles.
I thought they only had 1.
According to ESPN. Yeah, I knew that they had 5 turnovers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the last one, of course, was a interception on somewhat of a Hail Mary, so...
It counts.
It counts. Yeah. And again, and the time of possession was almost, it was 2 seconds apart. 29:59 to 30:01. Molly pointed that out right after the game. She was like, look at this.
I've never seen it that close.
Yeah.
That even. Yeah, so, I think Indianapolis, they're a solid team. I think give them a couple more years of consistency and building up that team. Of course, they got to go through Tennessee, which Tennessee, they're not doing all that great. I mean, they're not terrible this year, but they're not quite what they were with Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
But the Colts got to get through Tennessee. At this point, they're not even in the playoff picture. If the season ended today, they're not. At 6-6, they're not going to make it into the playoffs. But, I think that they're a solid team. I think they've really got a promising future if they keep it all together and keep their coaching staff and build on that team. They might be dangerous in a couple years.
They're a very fundamentally sound football team. They don't make mistakes. They're, besides the 5 turnovers.
Or the exception.
Yeah, they play very good, sound football. Good tackling, good blocking. They're not a complex offense or defense, but what they do well. And I can't remember if I said this in the preview podcast, but I said turnovers were going to be, or it's what I was thinking anyhow. I don't know if I said it.
I hope you said it.
I'm going to have to look back. Yeah, turnovers are going to be key to the game because they're very, very good at getting turnovers. They had the largest, we talked about that, biggest turnover differential in the league, and they capitalize on their turnovers.
Mm-hmm. And that's what they did against Buffalo.
Yes. Yeah. So,
which against a team that's better than you in every other respect, you beat them in the turnover battle. I mean, your odds are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a smart plan, on their part.
Yeah, there
if
aren't.
They planned it that way.
There aren't too many data sets, stats that you can look at and go, okay, this team is going to win or that team's going to lose based on this stat. Sacks, penalties, rushing yards, all that stuff, except turnovers. You look at turnovers and you go, okay, this team gets a lot of turnovers. They're going to have a winning record.
Which we learned with Jameis Winston, how true that was.
Right. Yeah. Isn't it amazing with the same exact offensive line minus DeMar Dotson replaced by Tristan Wirfs, that we now have the best offensive line in the league. Gave up the fewest sacks.
They did so well this week too.
Yeah, how'd they do? Did he get sacked? Did he? Can't remember.
Once or twice. Yeah, 2 sacks for 9 yards. 9 yards. Get out of here. That's probably the most he's had in a game all season. Maybe 3. Of course, Aaron Stinney got hurt during the game, like the first series. And it was a knee injury. And BA is already saying he's not playing this week. So, that's a bummer. Sunday against Atlanta. I mean, we'll be all right. But So we sustained that injury. And then Jamel Dean got hurt with the shoulder injury. And Devin White went out with the hip injury. And then he came back in at the half. So we did sustain some injuries pretty early in the game.
The Stinney injury was very concerning to me because I'm like, oh my gosh, we're down to our last guys. Please do not put Josh Wells in there. Please do not put Josh Wells in there.
Thank God we had Leverett active.
Yeah.
Normally we don't have that many. Probably because Marpet was out. They had the extra one. Ooh, I know. I did not want to see Josh Wells in there ever. He gives me a panic attack. Just that number. See 72 out there and I'm like, oh.
He'll get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaquille Barrett had a pretty good game. He had 2 sacks, right? And
that strip sack fumble was
that turned the game around. Yep.
And this is what really stuck out to me this game. They fought for this game. They fought. They never stopped. They did not give up. I mean, the end of the first half, we're losing 24-14. I mean, our offense cannot get anything going. Tom Brady, he's thrown an interception by that point, right? I think like early on. Let me see. I have it in my notes, my detailed notes. Oh, we had that Chris Godwin fumble, like immediately.
Yes.
The third. The second offensive drive.
Yep, second offensive drive. 12:31 first quarter.
Yeah.
No, 10:17 in the first quarter. Yes. Yeah, he didn't throw an interception until second quarter.
Oh, yeah, that was that the pass to Scotty Miller? Was it that one?
Yes.
He just had the one interception.
Mm-hmm. But speaking of interceptions, that Winfield interception was beautiful.
Oh, this is what I'm saying. They fought for that win. We have playmakers on this team, and they said, we are not giving up. We're not going out of this stadium with a loss. You know? I mean, we're down at the half. We're not playing particularly well. We're doing okay, but still down. And it's hard to get a lot going. And then we get a play like that. We get the Shaq Barrett strip sack fumble recovery.
Yeah, that was the play that turned the game around.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He's just like that. He is a playmaker.
He is. And like you said, we got a lot of playmakers on this team.
Yeah.
A lot. And they haven't been making that many plays, I feel. You know?
Yeah, like Sue had a sack in this game where I don't recall him having that many on the season. You know, he got a good sack. I'm going to look and see how many he's got. Yeah. But the Winfield, he has 4 sacks on the season. But the Winfield interception, I mean, just the size matchup alone. And he was he was behind that guy. So you would think, oh, the receiver's got the advantage here. No. Winfield's got springs in his legs or something.
Yeah, that was a beautiful, beautiful interception. Just
it was incredible. A great pass, too, by Wentz. I mean, there was nothing they could do. That was all Winfield.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was really happy with how we faced adversity and overcame it, got the dub. That's what matters. And there were a lot of times where I thought they were going to give it up, even at the end where they got that return.
Yeah.
Like, that was frightening.
Yeah, Bruce Arians said twice in his press conference that if they could change anything, it would have been to tell Leonard Fournette to go down at the 2-yard line.
Yeah. But nobody told him that.
No, nobody expected him to pop off that big run for a touchdown. You always want it, but
yeah,
I don't think they had it planned that way.
Right, yeah.
That was a nice run.
Yeah.
He did well. Now, I find it very strange, and this is quite a few games now where, seems like Brady's just kind of given up on the receivers and just throwing it to Fournette.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, Fournette has been a huge part of this game, this team for the past, 4 games?
But hasn't Brady always kind of been the check down king
he
with
did
his
with
running
New
backs?
England.
Yeah. I thought he was always kind of like that.
But he didn't do that much last year. But yeah, this was the Gronkowski Fournette show. You know, Evans didn't get hardly anything. Godwin didn't get hardly anything. I know this. You know how I know this? Because I have them both in fantasy. The guy I was playing had Fournette.
Insult to injury.
I lost by 7 points.
Oh, gosh.
And he didn't even have a wide receiver active. And one of his wide receivers was out. Because I had my 2 wide receivers didn't do anything. Oh, and then I have Christian McCaffrey, who, of course, had the sissy out. And
he's on IR now.
That's it for Carolina. They're done.
Oh, yeah.
They're done. He is the only thing that he's the only thing that holds that team together, and he's out now. Out for the season.
Well, and then didn't they bench Cam Newton?
Did they?
I think so.
Didn't take them long.
I know.
Are you serious? I had no idea about that.
Yeah, I think because they were just losing so bad. Looking at the score. It was to Miami, 33-10. So we got a huge win on the road. Let me see. let's talk about Vita's tooth.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Busted out right there on camera.
I know.
You actually saw it fly out. The announcers were like, oh my gosh, he lost a tooth.
He lost a tooth. Which is a shame because he's got a really nice mouth. He has really nice teeth. That sucks about your teeth, buddy. But he, I didn't see it the first time around. And, that kind of stuff makes me squeamish. So I was like, oh, I don't want to see it. But I saw it today on Twitter, unfortunately. So, but he posted something funny. He's been joking on it all day on Instagram, apparently, and posted some funny stuff that Greg Allman retweeted. I forget what the joke was, but it made me chuckle. I'm going to see if I can find it. I know, right?
Bruce Arians was asked about it after the game by the idiot reporter from ESPN, and he just said, I don't care. He was like, it's a tooth. It's not going to stop him from playing.
She's probably like losing her mind about how BA doesn't care.
Yeah. Yeah, he was just flat out, I don't care. It's a tooth. Who cares? He can still play.
Oh, so Vita tweeted a picture of himself smiling and added Colgate and said, I need some special toothpaste. And then he also added the Tampa Bay Lightning and said, when are the tryouts? That's one that made me laugh. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if he holds off till the off season and get that fixed.
He's going to have to get it capped or something. It's probably got a exposed nerve or
probably.
But, I've had plenty of those. They don't feel good.
Why are you getting your teeth knocked out, Ralph?
Yeah, because I'm an idiot. Bruce Arians in his press conference, he was pretty funny. He walked up there with his cup, of course.
Oh, okay.
He seemed to be
He was feeling good.
He was feeling good
by that point, huh?
Yeah. They asked him about the running, and he just flat out said he could have been saying this word for word on our podcast. He said, "Nobody can run on us." That's what he said. He said, "Nobody can run on us. It's dumb to even try."
Mm-hmm. I know.
He just can't run on us.
Yes. And what's his face only had 2 yards by the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
Which was ridiculous. He did end up with 83 yards at the end of it, but
which is slightly over our average. What are we, 76 yards a game we're giving up? So it didn't hurt us. And yeah, he had that one series where they just drove, they went, 80 yards down the field and scored, and it was like, and Bruce Arians said that's because they expected to pass, so they were playing pass defense.
Oh.
And
they just snuck it in there.
Yeah, it made sense,
Yeah.
And, he was like, if you're going to run it, that's fine. Just run clock off.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so like at the end, they got the ball back with 20 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing about them. You know, if they would have had another 30 seconds on the clock, they probably would have tied it up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They played it. They played. I wouldn't even say they played better than I expected. We just didn't play well in the first half.
Yeah.
That's.
Well, again, they brought their A game
In the first half. Mm-hmm. We eventually upped our game.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't even know if I'd say we played an A game. Maybe a B+ game.
No, yeah, I would call it a B+ game.
Yeah.
They did have a fumble in the first quarter, that one that Mike Edwards punched out, and Levante recovered at the 34. So the defense at the beginning was really trying to do a lot to help us out, help the offense out. It's like that first drive with the short punt and then the penalty. We held them like that.
That's
that was
right. Yeah.
They ended up with a field goal. So it's just one of those where it just seemed like it took a while for the offense to find its rhythm.
Did we get any further confirmation on Jamel Dean? What's up with him? Because Bruce Arians said it's not good.
Yeah. No,
That's what he said
not
after.
that I saw. Let me look at my news.
Desir's the one that got or was it Delaney? Got the interception at the end. Who was that?
Desir.
Okay.
Okay, BA said there's no structural damage to Jamel Dean. He's a wait and see this week. But they did say Carlton Davis is probably going to return for Atlanta this week because they said he had a good week in practice last week. Okay. So if we're missing Dean, looks like Carlton Davis could be back. Aaron Stinney can't play this week. Devin White is limited, but could possibly play in Atlanta. And then Jalen Darden is in the concussion protocol. So return duties will probably be split between Bernard and Scotty Miller. So, and then, so apparently, if we win the next 3, we can clinch the South. And so we play Atlanta Sunday, then we play the Bills, and then we play the Saints at home. So if we beat the Saints at home, that'll help us clinch the division. Pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank God we're playing the Bills at home.
I know, that's what I thought too. Yeah, we go away to Atlanta on the 5th, Sunday, and then come home for Buffalo and New Orleans, and then we go play at Carolina. Oh, we play at the Jets too, January 2nd. That's going to suck.
Yeah, it's going to be cold.
Ooh.
But like you said, Brady's used to playing in the cold. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He says he doesn't want to do it anymore, though.
I know. Now he's been in Florida. He's playing November games in like 60-degree weather.
Yeah.
Like that's never happened. So, you got any other thoughts on the game? Let me look at my game notes.
I was going to say, you better look at them notes because I didn't take any.
What the? Okay. We did not allow a first down in the first quarter, which is the first time we've done that since we played the Chargers in October of 2020. So a year.
Who keeps track of that mess?
I know.
You know, I mean, do they have people whose job it is to like keep track of that specifically, or do they just put a bunch of stuff in a database and then they do a search function?
Yeah, they got to have some kind of software, I think.
I would think, because you can't have a guy that just sits there and goes, okay,
there's no way you can do it. Okay, and so we allowed 19 net yards of offense in the first quarter, so that's the second fewest we've allowed in any quarter this season. So that was pretty good. And our 3 takeaways is tied for the most by any team against Indianapolis this season.
3 takeaways?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the differential or?
Oh, well, that might have been in the middle of the game. Let me see. No, that was the 3 takeaways generated by the defense. Oh, because we had one that was a special teams fumble. It was a muffed.
Okay.
And then I don't know what the other one was, but. So we're tied for the most against Indianapolis this season.
Yeah, they had in the first quarter, they got a field goal. That was off that bad punt. And then a penalty, wasn't it? A punt and a penalty?
Yeah.
Put them right in field goal range.
I know. They started at the 30.
Yeah, at the 30, Tampa Bay 30, yeah. Then they had a punt, and then a fumble. That was the first quarter. But then in the second quarter, they had 3 possessions. All 3 of them were touchdowns. Touchdown. That's what killed us, man. It was just like, what?
Yeah. It's hard to come back from that, too. Like, it's not really a big deal if you can answer, but we're having a hard time getting that part going.
Yeah.
And so Fournette's 4 touchdowns are tied for the most in a single game in team history, matching Jimmy Giles and Doug Martin.
Muscle hamster.
I didn't know that Muscle Hamster had any records for us.
Well, what's happened with him? Last time he was at the Raiders. That was years ago.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a thing about him since he's retired or left the league.
Me neither.
Huh. Interesting. He had a lot of potential.
I know.
Yeah, so then we took over in the third quarter. We had 2 touchdowns on 2 drives. They had a fumble and an interception on their 2 drives in the third quarter.
Oh, great. So that's like kind of where it really made the difference. And, you know, that's what happened in the Saints game in the playoffs when we played the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Kind of the third quarter is where we put the nail in the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a little bit later for Green Bay. But like it's like we get it. It's like after halftime. Like we make our adjustments. They have their speeches, whatever. They get it together in the second half.
How many times did they rush? Let me see. Taylor rushed 16 times. That's it. Fournette actually outrushed him.
Yeah.
Fournette rushed 17 times. Got 100 yards, 5.9 yard average.
Yeah. They had 20 rush attempts, and we had 27.
Mm-hmm. Well, Wentz had 3 of those, and then Hines.
I know.
Yeah.
Wentz. He played better than I thought.
Didn't make too many dumb mistakes.
Yeah. He was all right. Manageable.
Yeah.
Like a little better than a game manager, I would say. I mean, he was making some great throws.
You have to.
Yeah.
Against us.
I know. Did you see the penalties? They had 6 penalties for 66 yards.
666.
And then we had 4 penalties for 44 yards.
444.
I know. What?
Yeah.
It means something, I'm sure.
There's some numerologists out there going,
I know.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Between that and the time of possession.
I know. You know, almost even.
Almost exactly even. 2 seconds difference.
Just ridiculous. Ridiculous. What else you got? Okay. So they started out, you know, we had talked about, or BA had said he wants to come out fast and score.
Mm-hmm.
That was not what happened.
No, and we got the ball first, and I thought that maybe we had won the coin toss, but it wasn't. Colts won the coin toss and deferred.
Yeah.
But because there's been at least one game I know of this year that we've taken the ball first when we win the coin. The new thing in the league is you defer if you win the coin toss, but Arians sometimes will decide to receive because he wants to get a quick start. Never seems to work for us.
I don't think so either. Nope. And it didn't work for the Colts either. I mean, we didn't, you know, our first possession we ended up punting, so we got nowhere there. But they came out in the second quarter and fumble immediately. So it's like, a lot of good that did you. And then we got a touchdown off of it.
We have not been getting the big plays here lately. A lot of teams are playing a lot of too high safety on us, cover 2 shells, cover 3, just to try and knock off that top. You know, because Brady will, if it's one deep safety and we've got 2 receivers, or there's a receiver that's 1-on-1, you know, generally we'll have one on the right, one on the left, and, you know, whole motion to one of them be like, it's coming to you, you know, and he'll throw it. It's usually Evans or Godwin or something like that. But we haven't had that opportunity here lately because teams are just trying to knock off that top.
And maybe that's why Fournette keeps getting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we're dumping it underneath.
Yeah, we're just dumping it off.
The longest play we had was 32 yards. Rob Gronkowski. That was great. Great.
He played great.
Catch. Yeah, he did.
He always does.
Then the second one was 28 yards. That's the touchdown that Fournette got at the end. Put us over the top. Then another deep pass to Gronkowski for 26 yards. That was in the second quarter. And then there was another pass to Gronkowski for 20 yards. And then there was another pass to Gronkowski for 15 yards. So all of our 15-yard plays and above went to Gronkowski, except for Fournette's run. I don't know what's going on with our receivers, but they're getting left out in the dust.
I don't know. I just think that's who Brady's comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
But Gronk is just so ridiculous. He's so hard to bring down. You saw that one catch that he made and he was dragging number 30.
He was literally dragging the guy. Guy had him by his shirt.
The guy's on his butt, sliding. He let go because he was like, I still got some dignity intact, so I want to keep it if I can. Let it go. And then 2 other guys had to come and tackle Gronk.
Yeah, he's so hard to get down,
yeah.
man. What was it? It was the Giants. A guy came, it was like a cornerback, come running at Gronkowski full speed and hit Gronkowski. And I swear, Gronk didn't even move. It didn't even register on him. He like had his back turned, and the Giants guy bounced off of him and fell on his butt. He was laying flat on his back. I'm going to have to pull that out, that clip.
You need to.
Yeah.
Okay. I was looking at the play-by-play, and we had 2 that were like right in 2 possessions that were right in a row, and I was like, what happened here? It was the muffed punt. Yeah, I mean, they were making bad decisions, but there were just some plays that did not go in their favor, like the muffed punt, the fumbles, just little things like that where it made a difference in the game for us.
Yeah.
Could have gone either way. If we had lost, that's the kind of thing you point to and go, this is the reason.
Yes. And I'm sure Colts fans are saying they shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
You know, that we didn't beat them, they beat themselves. There's an argument there.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see it for sure. But I thought overall, they played really well. The Bucs are just better.
Yeah, Bucs did not play up to their grade, their level. Bucs. Oh man, we gotta straighten this ship out.
But it's not that bad. Like, what do you?
I know.
Ralph, get it together.
we're only 8-3. We could be 10-1.
I know.
Yeah, we only had 2 drives out of 9 where we were in the lead. They had 7 where they were in the lead.
A lot of good it did them.
Yeah.
What good's a lead if you can't keep it?
Right. Yeah, our biggest lead was 7 points. Theirs was 10.
Yeah.
We only led the game for 4 minutes, 2 seconds. But it was the most important 4 minutes and 2 seconds.
Yeah. And this is what I love about Brady is that he does not quit. And you can't really fluster. Like, he gets kind of flustered, and then the next drive, it's a whole new game every time. Just not really, like a lot of quarterbacks, you get to him early, and that throws them off their game. But he's not one of those people.
Yeah.
He just keeps it going.
Don't know about the referees. It seemed like it was an okay game. I think because a lot of calls went our way.
Yeah.
I think there was a couple calls on them that I was like, ooh, that was a bad call, but I'm not going to be mad if it's on the other team. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. I thought the defensive line played well.
Yeah, it seemed like they were getting good pressure without a lot of blitzing schemes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Vita, of course, them holding Jonathan Taylor. There was that drive where he got all that yardage. That one was scaring me a little bit because he kept popping through. And it was kind of like what happened when they played the Bills. It was the same thing where he was you're like, no one's there to tackle him. Like and then he would kind of squirt out. There was one where I thought he was down. Like, I thought Vita was on top of some blue jersey. I don't know who it was, but it turns out it was not Jonathan Taylor because he popped out the other end and kept going.
Yeah, Vita got on top of Jonathan Taylor quick.
Yeah.
If you're new to the podcast or you just don't remember, Vita has a tendency to do that with running backs, and I think it's a strategy because it will wear you out to have a 300-some pound dude fall on top of you. Multiple times. He did that to Christian McCaffrey in one game. He did it like 7 times.
Oh my gosh!
And that's the one that at the end of the game, he ended up running out of bounds.
And Vernon Hargreaves?
Yeah.
That touchdown saving.
Yeah.
Oh, that game.
But McCaffrey was just exhausted.
Yeah.
So Vita fell on Taylor like first couple plays. And I'm like, oh, he's starting it early. Taylor ain't going to last long. Mm-hmm. They didn't run him much. There was that one drive.
Yeah.
They ran him, I don't know, 7, 8 times on that drive?
And even on those... Gosh, I mean, he got most of his yards, 83 yards on that one drive.
Yeah. Yeah, because they started. It was an 80-yard drive, if I recall correctly. Mm-hmm. So, and he got the vast majority of it. Probably got 60 yards on that drive.
Yeah.
How many times did they hand it to him on that drive? Hold on. Because it seemed like every single time.
Yeah.
Okay, they had...
He had 16 total carries on the game with a 15-yard long, so that must have come on that drive. He averaged 5.2 yards the game, and that was topped by Carson Wentz with his 21 yards. He averaged 7 for the whole game, which I did not think that he was a running quarterback. Let's see. Brady only got 2 yards this game. I'm sure he's disappointed. His rushing average has gone down.
He only handed it to Taylor 3 times in that drive.
Really?
Yeah.
But how many yards did he get?
Let me see. Complete. 12 yards one play, 5 yards the next play. And then 1 yard.
Isn't it so weird how you can have a perception of how it went and then you go back and look and it's not at all how that went?
Yeah.
Well, he got those 83 yards somehow. It was not in the first quarter. Do they have it where it breaks down by quarter for the player?
No. I got about half. So, yeah, in the first half, Taylor had 25 yards on 8 attempts.
Wow.
Yeah. Second half, he got... I don't see it. This is well prepared. We're glad we had our notes.
We didn't even watch the game again, which is unusual.
So he had 80 some yards. So that, it means he got 60 yards in the second half. I could have swore he got it all on that one drive. Yeah, I don't have to go back and watch that game.
I know.
It just seemed like they just kept feeding it to him. Really? 3 times?
I know.
I got to be looking at something wrong here.
Well, you can't use it all up in one quarter because we're going to start getting on to you, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a tough game. You know, it shouldn't have been that close. I didn't feel like it. I don't think they're a good enough team.
I just think that they're a better team than you give them credit for.
They're a good team. They're a good team. We are elite. They're good. Big difference.
Yeah, but any given Sunday, and if they match up right in certain areas against your weaknesses, that's where you...
We ain't got no weakness. We're like Superman out there. No, he's got a weakness, kryptonite.
I know.
My goodness.
Right? Exactly, Ralph.
Yeah, I guess everybody's got a weakness. Buccaneers don't, though.
No.
Our only weakness is ourselves. Only people that can beat us is ourselves. How about that?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah. And injuries, the injury bug. That's what's beating us currently.
Yeah, you know, talking of injuries, there was in the movie Any Given Sunday, Jim Brown, who, if you never watched Jim Brown run the football, it was just amazing. He was like a bulldozer. And, you know, he played back in the day, black and white TV days. And he says in the movie, he says, these guys nowadays, they have bodies like Adonis, but they're built like glass. You know, they're easy to break, basically, is what he was saying. They look good, but they break easy. And, you know, I'm seeing it across the league. I've noticed it over the past few years here, especially, but it just seems like guys are leaving games for very minor injuries now and taking weeks off for injuries that, you know, the whole mentality of toughness seems to be gone out of football. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't play through injury now. If you're injured in any way whatsoever, you go. I mean, they got whole staffs of people just to massage you. No, I'm serious. And, you know, they've got, you know, dozens of people that work on, you know, all these different types of physical therapies and all that. You know, it's a huge industry now. And so, you know, if you get anything wrong with you, it's like, oh, hey, man, you go get some therapy. And it's expected now. Mm-hmm. You know, the guys like JPP and Tom Brady, you know, these guys who play through injury, you know, they're old school. They're not going to be around forever. And this seems like the newer guys. I love Mike Evans, but if you watch, it's like almost every time he catches a pass, he's hurt. Mm-hmm. You know, he motions to the sideline that he's going to go out for a couple plays or whatever. He'll be holding a hammy or whatever. And when he first came into the league, he did that crap all the time. It actually cost us a game one time because he went down hurt and it was under 10 seconds. And they blew the whistle and because he was injured, they ran the clock off. You know, the 10-second injury rule. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't injured. He was just...
That's the problem.
Yes. And, you know, so I'm seeing it all over the league, you know, where guys are, you know, even Vita last week, you know, I mean, he got hurt or a couple weeks ago. He got hurt. We thought he was out for the season the way he was yelling. Carted off and everything. And it was a bruise.
Oh, my gosh. Who was it? It was Jacoby Brissett the other night. This dude was screaming like a bitch on the field, holding his knee. Like, you could hear him on the broadcast, and you're like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I was like, his season's done for sure.
Yeah. He goes to the sideline, gets his helmet, he's ready to come back in. And they ended up benching him for Tua. And I'm like, dude, you deserve to lose your starting job when you act like that. And then you're ready to go in the next play. Like, no, if you're going to be screaming like that, you better be hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it seems to be, I don't know, not even accepted, you know, that that, just, I don't know, I guess what's called toxic masculinity, being tough now is considered stupid or, looked down upon, whatever, So it's like these guys will just, lay on the field for the smallest injuries now. It's just very strange. And then you see them get up, walk off field, and they'll be jogging up and down the sideline. And you're like, dude, come on, man. It's just, hurt. Yeah, it's just so different from what I'm used to. And so it's one of the things I really liked about football is it gave a sense of toughness for people to emulate. You want tough people. And it's one of the reasons why I believe soccer would never catch on in America because, and I used to argue with people about this all the time, and I can't use this argument anymore, but because, Americans, we like toughness. We like, strong men and strong women and all that good stuff. And, in soccer, they act hurt. It's a thing. They know it. They're not, they'll...
Yeah, they're flapping like a fish. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they'll cry. They'll hold their ankles. They'll roll around, and everybody just sits there and rolls their eyes like, get up, dude. We never had that in football. Never. You did that in football, they probably beat you up in the locker room. You can't even do that now. You can't even beat people up in the locker room. So, no bullying or what's it? Hazing.
Yeah.
Can't haze.
No.
Look, we got no hazing, no taunting. What are we? I don't know. What are we trying to do here? I guess it's because fantasy football has taken over football that it's data and stats is all that matters now.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I don't like it. When you told me Christian McCaffrey was out, I was like, what? He's out for the season. I was like, what? Did he even get hit? Was it a contact? I don't know. But
I don't know.
But him, he was great for a couple years, and he's great anytime he plays. But he's just not playing anymore. I mean, he was gone most of the year last year. He's been gone most of the year this year.
That's every running back. That's why you can't pay running backs anymore.
Right, yeah.
Because they get hurt once, and then the injury bug gets for the rest of their career. It's like Saquon Barkley. It's like this Jonathan Howard. Like, he's going to be great till he gets hurt in a year or two, and then it's going to be in and out. That's why you can't pay running backs anymore.
You're in that Bruce Arians school of...
I am.
You don't draft them high, you don't pay them a lot, and you don't use them.
Right, exactly. But, even, like, I would have said Derrick Henry's the exception, but where's he?
Where's he at? Yeah. Adrian Peterson. He got both his knees blown out, and he's still
had
playing.
His best season of his career after coming back from ACL surgery.
Yeah.
So, but we just don't have that anymore.
No. Yeah. I wonder if running back, the position, is going to start fading out, like fullbacks. Nobody uses fullbacks
like they
anymore.
might go to the receiver run back hybrid.
Yeah, like Cordell Patterson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that type of player.
Shifty and fast.
Yeah.
Is that his style? I don't know.
He's a big guy.
I don't know that I've watched him. He's a what?
He's a big guy.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
We need to watch him, I guess.
Going to have to prepare for the game coming up.
I know. Well, they just played Jacksonville, which I'm like, ugh, I don't want to watch that.
Now, I heard he got hurt.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I don't know if he's out for what. I mean, it seems like just every week there's like 10 guys that are hurt on each team.
I know.
You're like, what?
Yeah, just on the Bucs alone. Good grief.
Yeah.
We spent the first 10 minutes talking about injuries.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like Jamel Dean with that tackle he got. I sat there looking, I was like, it looked like a good tackle. I don't understand why he's hurt.
Yeah.
Of course that can happen too, where it doesn't look bad, but it is bad. It's probably what happened with him. But, at the same time, you're like, dude, rub some beer on it. Get it back out there and play, man.
Walk it off.
Yeah. I mean, like these receivers, when I watch the All-22, I'm always amazed that these guys get paid so much damn money because they don't do shit. I mean, seriously, you look at their stats, they might get targeted 6, 8 times, right? Catch 5, whatever. Okay, so they're catching 5 passes. I mean,
how much does that work out to per pass?
Right. And all the rest of the time they're, just running routes. And, every now and then they'll do a little bit of blocking. Godwin does a lot of blocking for us, but You know, like Mike Evans, he doesn't really block that much. His blocking generally consists of just standing in front of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, I mean, it's almost like the long snapper, you know, he plays, 4 or 5 snaps a game?
Yeah.
That's how receivers are. They just, and that's a lot in the football. There's a lot of guys that just, you know, I mean, in the overall grand scheme of things, they don't really do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, do they get paid?
Yeah.
You know, like the quarterback and the lineman, the defensive lineman, those guys are doing something every snap, you know. But everybody else, they're just kind of, I mean, you look at some of our defensive guys. I mean, some guys are out there, you know, they're out there 100% of the snaps. You know, they get 60 defensive snaps and they make 2 tackles.
Yeah.
You know, you're like,
I know.
you're getting paid $5 million to make 2 tackles.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more to it than that, but my point being, you know, they get 5 passes thrown to them and they get hurt. You know, it's like, dude, you're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do you have somebody like the Dominican Sue that's out there, you know, in the trenches fighting, you know, playing 80% of the snaps, and he don't ever get hurt?
Yeah.
You're out there, you play 5 snaps, you get hurt.
Or Tom Brady, 44 years old. He's smoking these guys. 20 years younger than him.
Do you reckon he like goes into when they're in the like hot tub or whatever, getting their massages or therapy, whatever, after, you know, they're listed on the injury report and he just walks in and stares at them? It's like, what are you doing, dude?
Maybe he
I'm
sends
44.
them to one of his clinics, which we were watching Pat McCaffrey, and
Oh, God, that was funny.
He talked about apparently these TB12 massages are absolutely brutal.
Yes.
Like, you can't move. Like, it's an hour of you screaming while this person abuses you, and then you can't move afterwards, and they're like, oh, you got to keep going. Like, eventually
get used to it.
Yeah,
is what
you
they
get
say.
used to it.
Yeah,
And
Pat
I'm like,
McCaffrey, he did it once, and he was like, I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
He said he was like, I couldn't move for 2 days.
Yeah. I wonder if Tom Brady's like a masochist.
You gotta be.
Between that and his diet.
I know.
He don't eat
Man
bread.
has no pleasure in life. His only pleasure is beating his enemies, seeing their women laid out before him.
I don't know. Like, he's married to a supermodel.
Yeah, I guess
Like,
there's some
kind.
pleasure there.
Right.
Yeah, you got to watch that Pat McAfee. It was hilarious. He's talking about that TB12 method. And then they get into, it was him and AJ Hawk. They start talking about all the massages and, you know, who does the massages and who avoids them and why and all that good stuff. It was really good. You know, I really like his podcast. He's a funny guy.
I don't like listening to it, but I like watching it. So,
Yeah.
and they have clips on YouTube all the time. So they're in like, cause he does a 3-hour show every day.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I've never
But-
watched the whole show.
Yeah,
I
me
just
neither.
did the clips.
I see the clips. Yeah. So I like it that way. But he even pointed this out. Well, one, he says a lot of the same stuff that we do. So he,
Yeah, so that's why we like
feel
him.
validated. Exactly. We're like, hey, we know what we're talking about. Maybe we get it from him.
No, he gets it from us.
Yeah. We've been saying
Hey,
it for years.
yeah.
I know. Before
Way
he
before
even
he
had
came
a
on
show.
the picture.
But he talked about the Access Media.
Yeah.
He mentioned, he didn't say it that way. He said, we don't rely on access to the NFL, so we can say this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was just going off on the refs one day. So,
Oh, yeah, he was.
you guys subscribe on YouTube to him. He's great if you're not already. Highly recommend.
Yes. And there's a couple clips we watched Saturday, or I can't remember, that actually had us
Like
crying laughing.
Yeah.
They were doing The Devil Went Down to Georgia. They just broke out like spontaneous.
And AJ Hawk is like trying not to lose it the
Yeah.
whole time. He
started
calls
cracking up.
in. He must not live there. Wherever they're. Anyway, it was good.
Yeah.
Y'all need to check it out. You get a lot of good insight into how the NFL works, like from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of what we get is from sports media, who they don't know. They have no clue.
Right.
And coaches on the podium or players on the podium.
Right.
I mean, that's not real
sterilized.
either.
They're just going to say whatever they need to say to get off the podium.
Yeah, that's PR.
They're
That's
forced to do it.
Exactly. So it's a good show.
Yeah, you get some insight. The massage stuff, though, it says, but who was it that used to get acupuncture? Oh my gosh, it was a linebacker for the Steelers. Oh my goodness. Anyhow, yeah, he was a mascot. Everybody was like, I mean, he would like get it every day for hours, and he was just one of those people that seemed to not relish in pain, but didn't shy away from pain. Yeah.
James Ferrier?
No.
James Harrison.
Harrison. Yeah, Harrison. Big dude, man. He was just stocky.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like Devin White.
He was a lunatic. He was insane. I would not, he's one of those old school football players where you're like, oh, he plays this because he wants to murder people, in real life.
He plays this because it's keeping him out of prison.
Yeah, so he does not murder people. It's like an outlet for that. And even then, he kind of gets close sometimes. There's a Yahoo article that says he spends, or when he was playing, from 2011, spends $300,000 a year to fly out masseuses, acupuncturists, and chiropractors.
Good Lord.
That's
$300,000 a year.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm in the wrong business. Whew.
Oh, CBS Sports is saying it's not actually acupuncture. It's something else.
Who cares?
I know. Anyway.
Who cares what they say?
I know. Those sports writers.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Cool.
You
We got a
anything?
game tonight.
Yeah, we got a game tonight. See the Washington.
Washington and Seattle, which that's a crazy. Oh, let's do a little playoff update real quick. With our win, we bumped up to the 3rd seed. The Cowboys are 7-4. We're 8-3. So we're in the 3rd spot. We're still fighting for Green Bay, that 2nd spot, because then we don't get a first round bye, but we'll get the home field advantage. So we really needed the Packers to lose to the Rams yesterday, but that did not happen.
Everything can't go our way.
I know. Packers beat the crap out of the Rams. What was the score there? Score probably did not do it justice. Oh, it was 36-28. The Rams look like crap.
Yeah.
Which I said. It's like, they're not that good. Y'all don't go back and fact check me. But, so Cardinals, they had a bye this week, so they're still first at 9-2. Packers are 9-3, so they have one more loss. So that's why they're in the 2nd spot. Bucs 8-3 in the 3rd spot. Cowboys 7-4 in the 4th spot. 5th spot, the Rams are there, 7-5 at 7-4. And then 49ers are in the 6th spot at 6-5, which they are on a tear right now.
Who was that?
The 49ers. They played Minnesota yesterday, beat them 34-26. And then the Vikings are 5-6, so they're in the 7th spot. Right now, if the season ended today, we would play the 49ers. So, and then on the AFC side, the Ravens are 8-3, so they're in the 1st spot. Patriots 8-4.
Didn't see that coming.
We got to talk about this.
Yeah.
Did not see this coming.
Did not see it coming.
What?
We wrote the Patriots off after last year.
Yes.
We're like,
between the personnel decisions and how they did during the season, you're like, Belichick sucks. It was all Brady.
It was all Brady. That was the conclusion. I thought it was over and done with.
Yeah.
Now he might be having a resurgence.
I know.
After his
Cam Newton.
His Cam Newton experiment, he realized, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to go back to what I was doing before.
I know. So then the Titans, they're ahead of the Titans. The Titans are 8-4. They're in that 3rd spot. And then the Chiefs are 7-4 in the 4th spot. So they've really gone on a surge too.
Yeah, because they were below 500 there for a while.
They were like 3-4 when we were making fun of them the last time. And then the Bengals are 7-4 in the 4th spot. So
7-4?
7-4. I mean, in the 5th spot. Yeah. And so they're only one game behind the Ravens for the division. They're fighting for that division. I know. Isn't that crazy? Didn't see that one.
Are they playing the East, the NFC East?
I don't know. How do I figure that out?
I don't know. I'll do it while you keep going.
Okay. And then the Bills are 7-4, so they're the 6th seed. They really fell off.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I thought that
they were tearing it up at the beginning of the year.
Well, and then last year they went to the championship, right?
Yep.
But they're only one game behind the Patriots, so they're still technically fighting for the division. They could still win the division. And then the Chargers are in the 7th seed at 6-5. So that's pretty impressive. That's cool.
No, that division is playing the NFC North.
Oh.
Interesting.
Okay. Oh, that'll be a good game. Yeah, because I think the Ravens play Green Bay coming up, and we're like, oh, they could lose that. We need them to lose. We need Green Bay to lose. Whoever is playing Green Bay, that's who we're rooting for from here on out. The rest of the season.
Whoever's playing Green Bay.
Yeah. That's who we need
Even if
to
it's
win.
the Saints?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I can't root for the Saints.
Just try hard. Just try. Yeah. So, playoffs. But we still got some good football coming up. We're going to pad some stats against Atlanta.
Do it. Then we got the Bills after that.
Then we got the Bills. Which that'll be fun. Maybe another Indianapolis Colts game.
Yeah.
Similar. Ralph.
Keep me on the edge of my seat.
I know. You better hold it together this time.
Yeah, it's two Sundays in a row I've been hungover and haven't enjoyed the games as much as.
I know.
Or no, last one was a Monday Night Football game. So I was hungover from Sunday.
Does our audience think we have drinking problems? We're fucking alcoholics.
It does seem
together.
like every time. Maybe we do have drinking problems.
Yeah.
What's the level? What's the cutoff there? Where do you go? You got drinking problems. Does it?
I know people that have a wine every night, and I say they have a drinking problem.
Well, we don't drink that much.
No, exactly. So I'm like, I don't have a problem. Those people have a problem. Not me. I'm fine.
I'm a binge drinker. When I drink a lot.
Ralph goes hard.
But I don't drink all the time. So.
And then he peer pressures. Like, I'm 100 pounds. And Ralph is like, 5 shots of tequila. Let's do this. Yeah. And I'm like ready to die. And he's like, you punk. Every time.
That's exactly
That's how
word
it happens.
for word what happened
Yes.
Saturday night. What were those things we were doing shots of?
Lemon drops.
Lemon drops, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't finish that one.
The last one, yeah, you were like, can't do it.
I still don't want to talk about it. See, everyone's going to think we have drinking problems. We don't do it that much, guys. Promise.
Most of our drinking is during football season.
Yeah.
So.
That's true.
There's that.
Maybe not for football, but like it falls in the season.
Yeah. Holiday season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's not talk about our alcoholism anymore.
I know.
Let's wrap this up.
Do it.
All right, guys, we got another win under our belt. We are 8-3. As much as you want to gripe and complain about this team,
you want to
about our performance, we're 8-3.
Yeah.
Getting to the playoffs is all that matters. Once you get in there,
and that was a fun game.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Kept you on your toes.
It's true.
All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up for us. Till next time.
Go Bucs.